Hello, I want to show you how to do an eye rig that accounts for a vertical component of the iris. Say like a cartoon eye that has an oval iris like this, or a reptilian type of eye, or an alien eye that's sort of vertical, or could be horizontal, but accounts for it. Say this cube representing the head. If the head were to rotate side to side like this, you can see that the vertical part moves correctly like that. And if they were tracking to an eye track, they would still work correctly, of course. So let me show you how to do that. It's easy. Oops. Okay, so we'll start from scratch. Let me start with this one eye here. Let's get out of this and let me delete that camera. Extra stuff. So let me zoom out of here. Don't need the camera. Alright, so let's select the eye, and for this to work we have to have it parented to an empty at its same location. And we have to do this because we have to make its local frame of reference, so to speak. It's independent of the other rotations that are going to be going on, so to speak. This is the same reason why you can look for a tutorial on this for planetary system. Say a planet going around a sun, say a planet with a moon, and that planet going around the sun. You need to have, for example, the sun parented to an empty, and then the planet parented to the sun empty, and then create another empty parented to the planet, and then the moon has to be parented to the empty that's parented to the planet. It's the only way you can have these objects rotating each other and with the result that you might expect. There are tutorials, you should try it out, but this is why this works. So here's an eye, and you want to make sure that, like, you see, you created this eye, say previously, and you open it again, or whatever manipulations you've done. Make sure you apply all the rotation so that these get zeroed out in this current scene. Zero out everything, because when you start adding tracking and these constraints, things can get all strange and things won't work the way you want to. So apply all your rotations and etc. here. So object and apply. You can click all transforms. It'll just zero everything out. Anyway, so let's add that empty. And for this example, we'll just pick, you can use anything, but here I'll use a sphere. Okay, so then we'll select that eye, and then command click the empty, go here and then parent the object. So to be sure, you want the object, the eye, inside of the empty. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move, let's move all that over. And then we'll Shift D and create a duplicate of that, because so we can have two eyes here. Okay. And they are both parented. Okay. Now, we can select the eyeball itself, not the empty that is parented to. For this to work, select the eyeball. Then we add an object constraint and track. We'll add an empty to track to. Just plain axis will be fine. Go to here, select the eye, and we'll track to that empty that we just created here. There. You'll see it moves around. We'll do the same thing for this eye. Track to the empty we just created. And sometimes you have to play around with these depending on what axis you're on until they both point at the tracking object. Okay. Alright, so now let's create a virtual head, so to speak. We'll do this really simply. We just add a cube. That'll be the head. We'll parent the empties now to that. So that empty will shift select the cube, parent that. Same thing with this other empty. Shift select, parent. You should see a line. There we go. Well, we have to do that again. There, we should see a line there. Now you can see all of the objects are inside that, parented to that cube here. Now select the eyeball again. We have to add a copy rotation of the cube. And let's see, we'll do the same thing with this eyeball. Add copy rotation of the cube. There we go. Okay, so to make this work, sometimes you have to play with these values. Go ahead and select, you do the copy rotation and click the X for both. Now, when you rotate, you get the expected. Everything works as expected. Now, also, when you rotate the head, there we go. Say for an eye here, for the eyes, you can add a further limit rotation so that you will get say like this, X and Z. You can experiment with these values for your character so that you'll get the effect that you want. So you see that I'm stopping sort of in the middle so that it doesn't disappear behind the nose or inside the eyelid. See, it'll stop there, and this one continues. You can do anything you want. It'll all behave correctly. Now, to be sure, if you're rotating, if your camera, if your tracker's here, the eye tracking empty here, the frame of reference system will get a little bit messed up on the exact opposite side. You see? Which you probably would have expected. It's because the it zeroes out. Maybe it's similar vaguely to the the Apollo gimbal lock. Simple. If you ever watched Apollo 13, if it gets a gimbal lock situation, then it doesn't know how to solve. If it goes to zero, it doesn't know how to solve the algorithms don't know how to solve its proper solution that makes any sense. Anyway, it works, so I hope that helps.